Start now with some breaking news that was first reported this afternoon by J.D. Miles online at cbsnewstexas.com. A Collin County grand jury has now indicted Karmelo Anthony.
He is accused of killing another high school student at a track meet. The story has generated national interest, and our J.D. is live at the Collin County Courthouse, where he's been gathering reaction to this decision. J.D.
Karen and Ken, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis says his office has been presenting evidence for weeks to a grand jury panel here and asked that panel to return an indictment of first-degree murder on Karmelo Anthony, which they did today.
The black community has been scammed once again. It was the BLM not too long ago, now the Karmelo Anthony case. How are we donating to somebody that took somebody else's life? No matter the race. No matter the race. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Now,
every time the narrative gets uncomfortable, us black people are always trying to say they trying to tear us down. The YT people started this rumor. They the ones that's getting this out there. They the ones doing this. And instead of honesty, y'all want sympathy. But that's not what I'm here for, okay? I'm here to speak truth and facts. Drew Anthony posted on his social media that they are looking for more lawyer fees. Indigent is for poor people, people that don't have money to get a lawyer, so they have to get a court appointed because nobody has presented a lawyer to the courts. So he has to get a court-appointed attorney because they ain't got no money. Ain't that what that mean? Oh, okay. And people are asking real questions because $600K didn't just disappear. The house didn't buy itself. And now y'all want more money and a free lawyer? Be fucking for real. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you erase these receipts? Because the father put it up. And I'm going off of what he's saying. Not from what I see on social media. Nope, not this time. I saw this on Facebook. Yeah, the daddy, Drew Anthony, posted it. If y'all haven't seen it, go look. But I am going to screenshot it and post it in the comments for the non-believers. Because it don't make no sense that y'all trying to spin it like it's some YT people made it up conspiracy. Cool story, though. Cool story. But it doesn't change the facts.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we have some more bad news for Karmelo Anthony. As yesterday we talked about how the EBT community has turned on the Karmelo Anthony family because of the fact that it seems like the family is going broke. Okay, they're asking for more money despite the fact they already raised over $500,000 from the EBT community, who naively believed that Carmelo was acting in self-defense. Okay, and ultimately at the end of the day, Carmelo has now been indicted on first-degree murder. There's still no strong evidence that has come out yet to suggest that Carmelo acted in self-defense. But yet still, you have some people in the EBT community who are still struggling to cope with the reality of this current situation for Carmelo. Because, again, things are really turning against him and his family.
This Karmelo Anthony case is really pissing me off. I don't even like talking to black people like this, but I just gotta say what I gotta say. You motherfuckers really got a problem with this man asking for $1.3 million under reasonable circumstances. This dude family receiving threats. They gotta move in another location because their address was leaked. They need security. Even the fucking judge was receiving life threats. And these people are just asking for y'all to help support them through their defense from these two aggressive young boys that tried to cause harm to him. Now, I got respect for Judge Joe Brown. But one thing I noticed, all these black people at the beginning who were supporting Carmelo, all of a sudden turned into a bunch of tap dancing. Bro, I had no idea the black community was so weak, bro. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how many sellouts we had. Basically making it seem as if Carmelo deserves to go to prison if he do get convicted from this crime. Judge Joe Brown, his old ass really had the nerve to sit here and say, oh, well, these young boys, they're punks, and I would have did this, and I would have did that. But guess what, motherfucker? You not him. It's easy for you to sit your old ass back and say what you would have did when you ain't got two people twice your fucking size trying to attack you. That shit really pissed me off, bro. Because I grew up fighting, bro. I used to fight a lot. I done got jumped before. I know how it feels to have people attacking you. I done been in that situation before. Actually, I done been in a worse situation than that. We got white women out here calling black kids racial slurs, raising 1.6 million within the 2 weeks. We got white people out here choking black men to death on trains, raising almost, $2-3 million within a fucking week for his defense team. And y'all motherfuckers really telling me that he wrong for asking for an additional $700,000 for a host of reasons that his family named that were completely reasonable.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about when I say that, some people just can't be helped, right? They just willingly believe lies because in their head, they're playing the race game, right? Carmelo's black, Austin Metcalf is white, therefore it was justified because he's black. The black man never gets a fair shot in court, right? And the system's racist and, white people just making things up, even though the people who are actually making things up are people like this guy who believes that Carmelo was jumped, even though there's no evidence. There's zero evidence that Carmelo was jumped. And we have more evidence that he wasn't jumped because NewsNation actually viewed the video footage and their reporter is going to deliver some more bad news to Karmelo Anthony because he's saying the same things that everybody else has said that's actually seen the footage, which is that there was no obvious altercation or any obvious fight that happened leading up to the stabbing, okay? Which, again, that's the main thing that these people are using to say that, hey, Carmelo has a strong case of self-defense. He was jumped by the Metcalf boys, right? They was beating on dude, right? Again, there are a lot of people, ignorants, who believe this because of individuals like Tariq Nasheed, Willie D, the Amazing Bottom, who all peddle this disinformation, this lie, okay, that has no evidence behind it, that Carmelo was jumped, right? And that's what people sincerely believe. And for whatever reason, they haven't updated themselves on the fact that people have viewed the video footage and there's no evidence that that happened. None of the witness statements that were collected by the police have said that happened. Carmelo didn't say that happened, even though he did say that he did it, right? He admitted that he did it. Carmelo's family, his handler, nobody has said that that happened, right? And again, I think that's part of the reason why a lot of these individuals are quiet, right? They're not really doing any more Carmelo update videos because it seems like they were very, very, very wrong, okay? So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some more bad news for Carmelo.
Texas grand jury indicted 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony just last week for a deadly altercation that happened at a Texas track meet in April. And now NewsNation has viewed a critical piece of video evidence. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed. Anthony admits he stabbed Metcalf while both took cover under a team tent during a rain delay. But Anthony says he was acting in self-defense. NewsNation's Rich McHugh has been tracking this case. And Rich, you are one of the reporters who got to view this important piece of evidence.
Yeah, Nicole, they allowed me to view this video under strict conditions. I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take pictures. I could take notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time, and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened. There's no sound on the video. And it's raining, and you can see about 30 to 40 people around the field. It's a track meet that morning, so they're preparing for this track meet. The incident in question happens at 9:44 a.m. It's really calm up until that point, and then chaos ensues, and you can't really make up anybody. You can't make out individuals. You can see people and colors and what they're wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:44, chaos ensues. What I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vantage point of where this all happened. Take a look. Across the field, you can see where the press box cameras captured everything. We're on the 45-yard line here. This is where it ultimately happened. There's a tent right up here. the kind of the sports tent where everybody was huddled at 9:44. Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody kind of took off. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony were here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told Austin, quote, "Touch me and see what happens." The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled out a knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest, and ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. And now, as of last week, Karmelo Anthony indicted for first-degree murder. Nicole?
So, Rich, how might this affect court?
Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set, I believe, for July 17th. This video, from what I saw, the question I have is, will they be able to enhance it and to view it, to zoom in? Because what I saw happened very quickly, and there was no obvious altercation just before. So it could be a case where both sides will see what they want to see, but the question remains, how much can they kind of alter or zoom in on this video, Nicole?
All right. Rich McHugh live for us there as this case continues to unfold. Rich, thank you.
So, again, this reporter and his statements, right, what he witnessed is in line with every single news report that I've seen so far. Okay, the Daily Mail, local news, everybody who's seen the video is saying the exact same thing, that we don't see any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, again, why is that important, right? Well, it's important because as of right now, based off the witness statements, Carmelo Anthony does not have a strong self-defense case, okay? However, if the video was to show that Carmelo was actually being jumped or that he was actually being attacked, okay, like physically beaten, then that could change things, right? That could change the facts, right? But what we have right now, basically, is witness statements to the police that suggest that Carmelo was not being attacked. At most, he got grabbed or he got pushed at most, which apparently was so benign that they couldn't even see it on camera, right? They couldn't even tell that that's what happened on camera because they're saying that, hey, no obvious signs of a physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. So there was no sign that Carmelo was being jumped. There was no sign that Carmelo was being beaten, right? I mean, look at his mugshot. There's not a scratch on him. Clearly, there was not a fight happening, right? There was not an actual fist fight happening at that point, okay? So there's no signs whatsoever that Carmelo actually was facing a deadly threat or something that could be reasonably perceived as a deadly threat. No signs that he was being jumped. I guess some people will say, well, they really couldn't see what was on the video or the video is inconclusive. Well, if that's the case, if you throw the video out and you take the witness statements that we have thus far to the police, he still doesn't have a strong case of self-defense. So it's looking bad. It's looking really bad for Carmelo because even if the video footage is inconclusive, even if you say, well, you can't really tell, you can't really say here or there in terms of what happened, that's not evidence that he was jumped. Okay, and it does not help him with the current witness statements. That is one thing if we actually had witness statements to the police, not some random hoodlum, okay, on the internet, but actual witness statements to the police is one thing. We had these statements that said that Carmelo was jumped, right? And then you had video that was inconclusive. You couldn't really tell. Again, it'd be different. It'd be a whole different thing. But we don't have that, okay? We have no verifiable statements thus far suggesting that Carmelo was jumped or attacked, okay, in any way to make him believe that he was facing a deadly force. So this is bad. It's really bad, okay, considering the fact that the family is asking for more money despite raising over $500,000. And it looks like the EBT community is done, right? They're done supporting Carmelo. Again, notice the race hustlers are quiet. They really haven't said much about this, okay? They haven't really covered this story. They basically abandoned Carmelo at this point, despite the fact that they were so gun-ho about defending him and saying that this was self-defense and, you know, this is just white supremacists trying to put the black man down, right? Blah, 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 blah. Where they at right now? The Carmelo family came out begging for money just a few days ago. But over the past few days, they've only gotten a few thousand at most. Yesterday when I made my update video on this, okay, Carmelo had $541,509 in donations. 24 hours later, he is at $541,917. So he's gotten about $400 in donations in 24 hours, right? Or about 1.4 million total. So they're asking for extra 800, 900, basically extra $1 million. Let's be real. They're asking for extra $1 million. And they only got $400? And it's only been a couple days since they asked for more money? Yeah, they're done. They're done. I think that even Carmelo's strongest supporters cannot donate to him in good faith, believing that he actually has a strong self-defense case. And that's why the money's drying up. That's why it's drying up. And, it really is a sad story. But, it's one of those things where people really got to take their race-colored lenses off, right? And to analyze a situation objectively. That way you don't end up feeling like a fool when you fall for this type of stuff, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people feel like fools. That's why they're not donating to them anymore, okay? If Carmelo actually had a strong self-defense case, he would be raising more money, but because he doesn't, that's why people are not donating anymore. People wondering where the money went. Where did the $500,000 go? Who knows, right? Well, I know, right? Look at Carmelo's woke handler, Dominique Alexander, right? Look at him. Okay, if you want to know where that money went, ask him. So, again, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if more evidence comes out. Again, I am the type of person where if evidence comes out and it can change my mind, then I'll change my mind with the evidence. But as of right now, it does not look good for Carmelo, and the fundraising has dried up. People are not donating to this anymore. We're going to see what happens, but it's definitely not looking good for him. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.